Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So before I even go ahead and do my normal kind of introduction, I want to go ahead and show you something really quick that I find really exciting and I really want to share with you guys. So let's get started. So I have this chatbot right here, and you can see I asked the question about what's the most payment method, and then it gave me a chart right here, and this is an interactive chart within my chat interface. So let me just ask another question just for you to get an idea, and I will explain to you what this whole app is about and what the whole tutorial is going to be about. Okay, so I want to ask it, can you show me the weekly trends in revenue? Okay, so I'm going to ask you to show me the weekly trends in revenue. Okay, and let's see what it get back to me. So you can see the AI is going to go ahead and it's going to go ahead and fetching some weekly trend data, and it's going to go ahead and generate a dashboard of this weekly trend data. Okay, so you can see the dashboard right here, and it's a bit small, but yeah, that's it. And you can see the dashboard right here, and it works just fine. It's interactive. So how does this work, right? Okay, so let me show you something real quick. So I have this video I created about, I think, 3 years or 2 years back, whereby basically I just want to play the video. I went ahead and took this Kaggle data set from about supermarkets, and I went ahead and show you guys how to build a dashboard like this using Fast API and Next.js and Chat.js, right? So this is the app right here, and this is what you have been able to build. I know it's quite simple and very rudimentary. So I was looking at this video and I was wondering, like, hey, how can I use AI to build a dashboard and be able to analyze the data without having to build my own whole back end, build a whole front end, and do all this fancy stuff around it, right? So that's what my research has been about, and I've been trying to experiment with different ways I could achieve that. So that led me to building generative AI, using Gen UIs in building interactive dashboards or doing data analysis using AI. So I went on a rabbit hole and did a ton of research on how to use Gen UI to build interactive dashboards. So in this video, I'm going to give you a quick overview of how I was able to come up with this dashboard. It can even give you a lot more information. Let's say we want the financial statement. So let's say, can you give me the financial, no, let's say financial, let's say balance sheet, balance balance sheet, well, let's say for the first quarter of the fiscal year. Okay, so I'm going to ask it to give me a balance sheet, and let's see how it's going to go ahead and generate this balance sheet. So it's asking me a question. I'll say, yeah, let me just say yes. That's okay with me. I don't even know what it say, but I'm just gonna say that just for the sake of time. I want to go ahead and just give you a quick summary of what the app can do, right? So it's going to go ahead and gather all this data, and it's going to go ahead and build a dashboard of this whole financial statement for the first quarter of the fiscal year. So it's going to go ahead and build that, and we can go ahead and see this dashboard. So right, how is this happening, right? How we move from basically using simple chat interfaces that I've been doing on this video on my channel to more something like this. So that's what we're going to be covering, and let's dive into it. So you can see that this is a financial statement and stuff like that, balance sheet and stuff like that. This is not very accurate, I know. If you do finance, it's a bit more complicated than this. Okay, I took a bit of finance when I was in high school, but it was quite rudimentary. Yeah, but I did a real balance sheet is more in depth than this, right? But basically, you can see just give you a high level overview, Q1 to 2019, and the data was from 2019, and you can see all that information right there. Okay, so how does all this work under the hood? Okay, so let's take a quick dive and see what how it works under the hood. Again, this is just an introduction to this Gen UI for building dashboards or doing data analysis. It can be way complicated, and you can do really cool stuff with this, right? Not just dashboards. You can do clickable cards, movie recommendations, stuff like that. There's a ton of things that can be done with this. Okay, so let's jump into it. So how did we move from the simple RAG application that only responds to in text like the older chat GPT when it came out the first time, and my older videos on RAG system. So you can go on the channel and check out my older videos on how RAG system works and all this kind of stuff, right? So at the end, at the core of it is still a RAG system because it's retrieving data. In this case, just doing something to the data. In this case, is visualizing that data, right? So it's still a RAG system, retrieval augmented generation, right? So it's this kind of a similar thing, right? So how do we move from a simple plain text to now cool visuals and interactive visuals, not just cool, also interactive visuals in the chat interface, right? How did you do that jump? Okay, so let's get into it. So the whole thing powering this is a whole concept called generative UI, right? So the UI, as it says, is generative. Like you see, I didn't go ahead and wrote a custom UI for these components like I did in this video, right? Like in this video, I went ahead and we wrote Next.js components for all of this, right? So in here is being generated on the fly. The AI generates these UIs on the fly. Not really, but I'll explain to you. That's one way you can think of it. The AI kind of generates these UIs on the fly. That's how you can think of Gen UI, right? So that's what Gen UI is. And why should you use it? Because of cool things like this, right? You can do this and you can do way more stuff, right? Like you can build a whole product recommendation whereby the products can come with buttons, and if you click the buttons, maybe it takes you to a new browser, sorry, a new tab on your browser, and you can order that product. I see people do really, really cool stuff with this, right? So you can do way, way much more. Okay, so that's the why for me. Okay, so what are I just go for a quick, give you a quick overview. Basically, what are the main three types of Gen UI? This is very important. So there are control Gen UI. Basically, you write React components like the way we did in this video, and the AI converts these React components into kind of sort of tools, basically tools. Basically, these tools communicate, hey, for me to use this component, you need to provide me this set of data. Like you need to provide me the data on this that I can use to build these trends or this analysis. You need to provide me data on this, right? So this is not the actual finished project. Actually, it has the actual data. I think it's in the second part of the tutorial, so you have the actual data being displayed. But this is just kind of like a demo part of it initially in the course. So if you follow the course, you have the full thing at the end of the day. But basically, what you simply do in the controlled Gen UI is that you define your React component, and then you convert them into kind of tools that provide instructions to the AI on the different parameters and arguments it need to pass to you in order for you to be able to use this UI to visualize the data or to do any UI stuff that you're doing in the chat interface. That's control, and this gives you absolute control over these things because you define the UI yourself, you build it yourself. The agent that just converts this into tools, and then those tools are then called, but the right data is passed in, and that data is used to fill in these components and then rendered on the screen. That's control UI. Think of it like that. So if you want full control over the app, you can do control UI, write your own components, and then have the AI providing the data to use those components, right? Passing the arguments to use those components. That's control. And in this video, in this project, I use some control components, and other ones I use the next one, which is called declarative Gen UI. So what's declarative? So basically, giving instead of giving the agent a whole completely defined set of UIs that it should use, you could build smaller portions of this UI. For example, I could build a button, and then this button will be a tool, right? So to use this button, you need to provide what text go in the button, what color of the button, and stuff like that, right? And then you provide maybe a pie chart, just as a tool. You have this card as a tool, and then you have this text up here. All this stuff you define this small stuff, right? So you can see this card and this card are the same stuff. You maybe do have define tables and all this stuff. So once the Gen AI has access to this, it's using the A to UI protocol that was developed by Google, right? It was developed by Google, and it uses that information to be able to populate and generate the different graphs. It doesn't have to follow any specific defined format, right? So it just takes these small building blocks and then combines them in whatever way it deems fit to create this UI. So you can see I simply declare the card, declare the table UI, declare the pie chart, the bar chart, and all this stuff. And the AI is calling them at its will, how it wants them to be. I'm not telling it, hey, for this I need to use a table. For this I need to use a card. It just goes ahead and calls this as it deems fit, based on this tool description, all these component descriptions, right? These components are converted basically into tools, right, for the AI to use. So that's basically how it works, right? So you just define a bunch of smaller UI components: a button, a pie chart, a bar graph, a card, a table, and convert this. This will be converted into tools. This is done by the library that you're using, called the library that you're using under the hood. Converts these component definitions, right, into tools that this agent can then use, right? So it's tool calling at the end of the day. Okay, so that's declarative, and it gives you you just define smaller components, and this agent uses components as as it deems fit, without you having to control what goes where, right? Okay, now let's move to Open Gen UI. So this is gives you so this one, let's finish up with this one. So the declarative Gen UI part, it gives you some control, because you define the smaller building blocks, like a Lego blocks, right? And then this agent takes its Lego blocks to build a structure or something out of it, right? So you define the smaller blocks. So some control is back to the developers. Like I did in this case, I defined these smaller components. And then, but if you come to Open Gen UI, you have absolutely almost zero control. So this uses things like MCP tools, sandbox applications, and stuff like that, and allows these agents to create UI that is it deems fit. So you can basically use things like MCP tools within your application that can do different stuff. For example, you could bring in MCP tools within your chat interface. Maybe, for example, you could bring an MCP tool, maybe for some search or some movie thing. We can show it within our UI itself without having to basically define anything, right? So this one you have little control, because the MCP providers are basically defining how these smaller apps within your app look like, right? So you have little control in that specific scenario. So that's basically the whole quick introduction to how Gen UI works. Okay, so let's go ahead and look more about the data analysis part dashboard that we built. So for example, we can also ask it, let's say, what kind of questions would you want to experiment with? Okay, let's tell it, let's say, provide me a detailed summary of each branch's performance over the months. Okay, so this data set is a data set about some supermarkets. That's what I'm using under the hood. And this data set has information about the three branches of this supermarket. And I talk about more about the data set in this video. And I'm going to drop a link about the data set in the video description as well, if you guys want to have a look at that. So yeah, so basically I'm just asking it, hey, can you give me a summary of the performance of these three different branches over the three different months, right? So we have January, February, and March. Okay, so if I run that, let's see what it provides me with. So if I run that, it's going to go ahead and pull all the data, and then go ahead and build me this cool dashboard that I can use, and then visualize from the data. So you can see the world is really changing a lot. So having to hard code all this kind of stuff now to having dynamic UIs that you can really chat with, and see these chatbots that are really cool and easy to work with. So it's really changing a lot of stuff. So uh, things like, you don't, back in the days you have to write Power BI and kind of all these things, right? So uh, you can really do these things these days just by using AI agents, right? You can just write a bunch of tools and then provide these tools to a React agent, and then the agent calls these tools as needed. So within these tools, you can specify what formulas you will need to use, just like the way you do in a Power BI application or in an Excel dashboard, right? You provide all these formulas, all these SQL queries, or all the Panda code that you need to write. Like in this case, I'm using Pandas under the hood. So I provided with all the Pandas code, all the stuff it needs to do. So it just calls the different tools and then uses those different tools to visualize this data. Again, it could not just be used for data visualization. It could be used for something way complicated and way more prettier than data visualization, right? So there are a ton of ideas going through my head right now on what next project to build, right? So let me know what you guys want to build, right? Maybe I can make a video on it, and then um we could see how it goes. So let me know in the chat what you guys really want to build. So you can see in here gives me the performance of the three different branches. So I have branch A, which is called Yangon. Hope that's the right pronunciation. Has 340 transactions, January, February, March. You can see the data right here. So we have more sold in January and the list in February, and then that's it. And you can see monthly revenue kind of dips in February, but goes back up, which is also what's captured in here. Yeah, then you have the branch of Mandalay, and Mandalay has 232 transactions, and you can see, okay, again the same thing. February has the lowest thing, it's captured here as well, and all this we can see here the total revenue, the COGS, which is cost of goods sold, the gross income, right? So you take the income, net income minus other stuff expenses, and you get the kind of like I don't know. I forgot these things about about finances back in high school. Anyway, I can write them down. I can remember when I write them down, but the top of my head at the moment, I really don't know. But this is basically how you could build this kind of cool apps in here. So I can share this code with you. Let me know in the comment section below. I can share the code with you. So this is the application actually running right here on my computer. So I have built this using Fast API. So it was built using Fast API for the back end, LangChain for the agents, and then for the front end, uh, I'm using this package called Copilot Kit, right? Called Copilot Kit, and you can check out Copilot Kit. I'm gonna leave a link in the description below if you guys want to check the documentation as well. Really cool library and framework, so I really like it. And for the tools and other stuff, if you follow back on my other videos, it's the same way we created these tools and all this other stuff here, right? So same way, same thing. Just run a bunch of tools, and this bunch of tools can put together data to extract these different information as we need, right? So yeah, that's basically it, and this could be extended to a really nice applications, right? So let me know what you guys want to build, and we can discuss about it. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope you found this really helpful. If you really want to contact me, want to have a chat, maybe you want this to be apply to your project or something like that, you can always reach out to me. You can find me on Medium. I also write articles about these videos at Prince Crampa on Medium. You can find me on YouTube, hopefully where you're watching this video, at Code with Prince. You can find me on Twitter, aka for the old guys X. No, X, aka Twitter for the old guys. You can find me at Prince underscore Crampa. And on LinkedIn, you can find me at Prince Crampa. So I'm much faster and quicker to respond to you on LinkedIn. So if you have any questions, you have any collaborations, suggestions, you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn at Prince Crampa. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you found this helpful and has really put just a little tiny grain of understanding of how this basically how to build this kind of cool dashboards within your chat interfaces, right? So not only dashboard, you could do way more complicated stuff than this, right? So any UI thing that you can think of, now you can bring it within your chat interface, which is really crazy, right? I know. Yeah, so guys, thank you guys for so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Don't forget to like the video, share, and subscribe to the channel, and share this video with anyone who you think might find this content helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.